guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, I wanted to drop a quick podcast on how the narcissist uses trauma to trigger you. How does the narcissist use trauma to trigger you? Well, let me give you an example. If you're dealing with a narcissist man, and you can, use this vice versa. The narcissist is able to quickly deceive someone by, talking about their children, or the mother of their child, or the father of their child, or, what others have done to them in their past or their childhood, to deceive you, to make it sound so real, almost like it just happened, almost in a way where you're going to empathize with them. Narcissists love attention. They're willing to tell you things that, really don't bother them, but they know that those are things that other people go through, and they try to relate to you through that trauma. So that's how they're able to easily deceive you throughout the whole relationship. Narcissists, they don't feel bad for others. They feel as if, if they do feel bad for you, you're just going to use it against them. You're just going to use your trauma to have some type of control over them. So the narcissist basically looks at things like, things didn't go my way, so, I don't care if things don't go your way, or things didn't go my way, and the more they discover, they feel like things didn't go the way a lot of people planned. So why should I care about you? Things weren't going to go the way you wanted them anyway, because I only care about myself. So it's on you, because, I only think about myself. Everyone goes through things, and they're not thinking about giving people a chance or allowing people to, evolve. They're thinking to themselves, if you want to make the same mistake I did and you want me to do it to you, then that's just on you. That means that if I don't do it, someone else will. So it might as well be me, because it's going to happen eventually anyway. So basically, when the narcissist love bombs you, that's their way of saying, look, I'm really not that bad. See, I'm not that much of an evil person. Or, I know I'm not perfect, but look, I'm doing something nice for you. When in actuality, if you knew what they were really doing, you probably just wouldn't want anything to do with them. What they do for you would be meaningless, because they're lying to you about their whole being and what they're really doing with you, so that's how they're able to justify their actions and their lies, by love bombing you. They're, even if they're treating you bad and they know they don't want to be with you, they're thinking to themselves, remember when I came back? I love bombed you and I did all of these nice things for you. You should really appreciate it. And even though they came back because they used you, to them, they're still trying to justify it in their mind like it wasn't that bad, or things just didn't work out, when they knew that eventually things wouldn't work out. But they think you're so dumb. They think that you're thinking you're in a regular relationship with someone when you got them figured out. And the more you have them figured out, they're pissed at you. They're mad. They're angry. They feel disrespected. They're trying to still believe their own lies. And they're like, I'm taking it to the grave, so deal with it. And this is why they leave. And they leave you without giving you any closure. They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to admit to what they did. They feel like you figured them out. They're like, you figured me out. You might hurt me. You might do something to me. I don't trust you. And that's where they start to get paranoid. And they're like, this is weird. Why do you want to be with me? Why do you want to be with me? I've been faking it, and that's when they show their true nature, and you're looking at that person like you don't even know them. Like, who is this person? They're acting like a whole nother person, or they look like they're being influenced by someone, or they're acting like they don't even know me. They're acting like they don't know me. So, that's how they view women. That's how they view women, and they view women as a source of supply, and they feel as if there's always going to be a better source. And that's how, and they feel as if you were smart enough, you would do the same when they leave you. So they're kind of like, I'm teaching you something, hopefully you'll learn from this situation, and you'll learn to, not trust someone just because of the trauma and because of the fears, because they're looking at themselves like, look at me, I'm fearless. I can do whatever I want to people and I can get away with it. People have gotten away with treating me bad. So, I don't care about anyone. That's just how they look at people. They don't care unless it's something, it has something to do with them. It's almost like they're trying to build the perfect supply, in order for them to survive. They're almost trying to build the perfect supply, meaning that they use different people for different things. They choose a character, they choose a role for you to play. It's kind of like narcissist women. They use one man to pay the bills. They use another man, to, take them shopping, food, intimacy. They're using different people for different things because they feel like that's the most that they can get out of those people. And that's all they basically want out of those people. And, the reason I say they use trauma to trigger you is because they're willing to tell you that they went through the same things that you went through, when in actuality they didn't go through those things, or they might have went through those things, but for the most part they've treated others in that manner. So yeah, maybe someone else did treat them that way, right? And they learned that behavior from that person, or they envy and they hate that person so much that they feel as if everyone deserves to get treated this way. So the narcissist, they use trauma to trigger others. So when you think about what you've experienced with the narcissist, right? I'm pretty sure that you guys have dealt with, events that happened during the relationship where something happened to the narcissist, some type of trauma or some type of incident that might have not had been related to them, physically, but maybe someone around them. Say there was a death in the family, a brother, a sister, a mother, any type of incident, or someone just got hospitalized for something, or COVID or something, anything, right? The narcissist uses others' traumas or incidents with others to make themselves look good. So if someone around them is sick or someone around them is going through something, they use those situations to victimize themselves or to make it seem as if they're having such a bad day or something, or everything's going wrong. It almost looks like they have true empathy. And it's kind of crazy because on the outside looking in, most people are not going to question you being sad. I mean, if something just happened to your mother or someone close to you, you're not thinking someone is faking empathy or playing around, right? Because it's like, why would you play around about something like that? Like, that's someone you're close to. And once you get to know the narcissist very, very well, you realize that they don't have any empathy, because how could they have empathy for those people, right? That's why you start looking at them like, oh, they care about other people, they just don't care about me. If they don't have empathy for the way they're treating you, and they're treating you how maybe someone else has treated them, why would you believe that they have empathy for the people around them? Those are just fictitious stories that they bring into your life to make you feel as if they are remorseful. They know what they're doing. They know that by seeming like they're bonded to that trauma and it's affecting them in some way, they're using that to to fool you, to make you believe that they do care about certain people. They just don't care about you because they know those thoughts are going to cross your mind. Like, why do you have empathy for certain people, but you're doing all of these things to me? You know, when I'm trying to get away from the situation, you're begging me to take you back, almost like in desperation, right? Desperate to get you back, like they can't be alone, like they don't want to be abandoned, but yet they do this to you all the time. They even laugh in your face while they're doing it. And in their mind, they feel as if, oh, it wasn't that bad that I laughed in your face. I knew eventually I was going to hoover you back. I don't know why it's such a big deal to you. I just laughed in your face because I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going to come over here and mess up what I have going on with someone else. You know, so to them, it's like, I'm not causing you any trauma because I'll be back. You know, I don't care about anyone. So they're not seeing the effects of the trauma they're inflicting in you. They're not even seeing that because the narcissist literally faked their trauma with you. They faked to understand you. They faked all of that. So by the time that, you know, they're sadistically trying to humiliate you and they're trying to keep you from exposing them, they're getting off on the fact that you might expose them as well. To them, they know that that type of trauma will trigger you for a long time. So when they speak about trauma and things like that, or they try to act like they're going through something, everything, all of it, it's fake. You know, it's all like just a mind game. They know how you're going to end up feeling as if, well, why are you treating them better? Why are you remorseful to certain people? They know you're going to question all of those things. They know that half the time they tell you things, there's really another story to that. They know that, you know, so they lack respect for you for believing their lies. They feel like you believe everything you're told by people. So when they start going through situations, you start to kind of lose empathy on whatever they're going through. And as much as the narcissist is trying to get you to believe whatever they're going through, the narcissist can see it in your eyes when you start to distance yourself from them, when you kind of, you know, are still trying to be a good person to them because you know that you have empathy in you. So they know that you're trying your best to have empathy for them, but that you don't trust them anymore, that you don't empathize with them as much anymore. And they can tell so simply because in the beginning, they're giving you stories, you're believing them. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're asking them why. But why would that happen? Why were you there? But who else was there? You're going to ask why. You're going to go into Wonderland. And that's when they start realizing that you're learning, that you're discovering, that your senses are, you know, developing. So when you become to the point where you don't empathize with them as much anymore, that moment that they can even smell it on you, they're thinking to themselves, yeah, you're going to start hating me now. Now the hate's going to come. I knew the hate was going to come. You know, they bring it upon themselves to bring that hate out of you because they feel like they know you have it deep down inside of you. They just have to trigger you until it happens. A lot of times they're testing you. They want you to, you know, they want to see that hideous side of you because they want to see if you'll do to them what they've done to you. And the moment that you do to them what they've done to you, that has just justified to them that what they did to you, you know, what they did to you, you deserved, basically, because you would have done it to them. And it doesn't matter if they took longer to do it or it took you longer to react to them. They feel like the moment you react to them, you're showing them, you know, that you would have done that to them. And that's why they had to have control over you the whole time and your thoughts, you know. So they used trauma just to keep you controlled. So when you react to the trauma and, you know, the narcissist comes and hoover you, or they act like they forgave you, they secretly never forgave you, or you did something to them and they feel like they have to get you back. It's like a bad episode of Catfish. This person is catfishing you, and then they're using something that you did, out of their reaction. This person's not showing you who they are. You react, and now they're like, aha, you deserved it. See? I told you. So they set up their own scenarios with people in the same way over and over again. So they don't have a limitation to how long they'll abuse you because of it, because they feel like you deserve it until you feel like you don't deserve it. So the narcissist, they're very sick because they'll keep you in a relationship with them. They'll keep the relationship going for as long as they want to, and they feel the whole time like you deserve it, like it's justifying their actions because you're a liar, or because you got them in trouble, or because you reacted to them. It's like they feel like, hey, I'm the one that abuses. You don't do that. You do whatever I tell you to do, because you don't even know what I'm willing to do for you. I might be using trauma to keep everyone bonded to me, but you don't know, I could have done something really nice for you, and now you messed it up, and now you're going to have to pay for it. Like, they literally make up their own scenarios. And this is why they work so hard to bring that dark side out of you, because finally when it does come out, and you just do not believe them, or you might even, question who they are, what they're about, what type of person they really are, their fetishes, what they're really into. You might think they're gay, and you start questioning things about them. They know you're closer to figuring them out, and that's when they'll discard you again, because now it's became a game to them. It's like, oh, let's see who's going to win, me or you. And you know what is so sick about that is that you will be in situations where you could have got the narcissist in trouble, or you could have easily, called the police on them because they beat you up, they knocked you out or whatever. You could have done a lot of things and you didn't do them, no matter how bad, this person treated you. And the moment that you did something to them, or they felt like their ego was hurt or bruised, or they were going to be discovered, or they felt like there's a secret that they're hiding, they use trauma to try to hurt you and entrap you. And the moment that you try to do anything out of that trauma, they act like the victim, and they try to attack you almost like they want to kill you, and it's all from the trauma that they've created, trying to create this trauma bond, when the whole time you could have went down to their level, and they really believed that you went down to their level off that event, and really you could have done so much and you let it go. And I think that's what hurts a lot of empaths, when they hoover you, or just out of nowhere they'll get very quiet, or they'll cry about something, and they'll try to tell you that they're having this traumatic experience, right? And you'll be there for them, because you'll think to yourself, the narcissists, they don't really cry like that. I've never seen a grown man cry, or I've never seen someone in this, this much pain. And you'll be there for them. You can tell that, they needed you, basically. You can feel that they needed you. And sometimes you might even look at them and look at that desperation in their eyes and that sadness, and you can see yourself in them, right? You can see yourself in them, and you can relate to their trauma. But then you start to think like, that type of pain that they're feeling, that's how you feel. And even if you're there for them, it does cross your mind how you could possibly feel the way they feel and they not care at all. That if anything, they make fun of you, and here you are, wiping their tears, holding their hand, hugging them, patting them on the back, whatever you're doing, you're trying to make them feel better. And if you question the narcissist of why they're upset, or you want them to talk more about why they're upset, like, sometimes they might be upset. So you're like, okay, we'll talk about it. What's going on? Because when you're upset or you're hurt, right, or the narcissist causes you pain, you let them know why they're causing you pain. So when they get in those, moods where it seems like they're going through some type of conflict, they won't all the way share with you what's going on with them. That's your first red flag. They're not completely sharing with you. What they will do is that they will talk about their past trauma and they'll bring it up in that moment. And you're thinking to yourself, well, why are you bringing it up? Why is it affecting you this much now? You never talk about it, So you'll think to yourself, maybe they're just having a bad day, and you'll ignore it because you know what it's like to have a bad day where everything, all that pain you feel just comes crashing down on you. So you try to make excuses for their behavior because you don't want to make fun of someone else's trauma, and in those moments, you don't even realize it, but they're faking that trauma in order to control you. They're faking, every intention they have is to really deceive you, and you're not even seeing it as that. And the narcissist, they're not appreciating you being there for them or anything like that. They just want what they want, and they don't see any value in you being there for them because they almost feel like if you're not around, someone else will be around, or if you're not around, I would just be handling this situation by myself. So, they try to connect through others. They try to connect with others through trauma. And a lot of times when they're going through a situation, or when, like I said, for example, there's a death in the family, or say someone's in the hospital, right? They try to connect to you through that trauma. So they're telling you, oh, my mother's in the hospital, and, that she's in a hospital, or you have, or maybe she's not. Sometimes they lie. They tell you that something happened to someone and it really didn't happen. Sometimes they tell you that something happened to someone, some type of trauma, and it really did happen. So let's just say, for example, it really did happen. You feel like you can't question that, because if you question it, you'll be in the wrong. You're questioning their feelings, emotions. The narcissist finds that as an insult, as a threat, and because they've never had empathy towards you, it kind of makes you feel like, where is this empathy coming from? A lot of times they're experiencing something outside of that situation. And sometimes they're constantly experiencing it and they're hiding it from you. So they're going through this type of situation where someone might be treating them the way they're treating you. And they're constantly hiding it. They're hiding it from you. You share so much of yourself, they feel like you're the person that's out of their mind because you're sharing too much. So to them, it's like they're holding all of that stuff in. They're hiding, they're deceiving you, right? The moment that someone is going through something traumatic, you know how like when someone gets sick, the narcissist likes the attention on themselves, or sometimes they like to take their own kids to the hospital and act like they're sick, or they pretend to be sick themselves just to get attention. The narcissist will use any situation, any traumatic situation, to make it about themselves. And that's what fools you into believing they actually care about whatever that person is experiencing. Because you're like, I can't question, them being upset that someone close to them died. I can't question that. But it's because the narcissist is talking so much, or they're showing some type of emotion, that it literally makes you feel like they're not faking this type of, these feelings. They can't possibly be faking it. but it makes you do question it. The narcissist uses this opportunity, someone else's pain, someone else's trauma, to make it about them. And finally, you feel like something's off, and that's because something is off. And they'll use, they'll use the fact that they don't share with you everything, that you know you should be happy that they're talking to you, and then they'll get offended because they're like, you should be happy that I'm talking to you because I don't share with you how I'm feeling all the time, and I'm feeling like this all the time. Someone else is treating me the way I'm treating you, like, I'm feeling like this all the time and I hold it in. So now that I'm sharing something with you, you can't even be there for me. How dare you? I'm always there for you, but they're the ones causing your pain and playing all the games. But they're trying to make it about themselves because they're finally using a situation to lie to you. And most people believe narcissists. They lie about anything. So they're using situations, traumas, to hide their trauma. This is why, the narcissist hides behind other people's trauma to camouflage their own, because they're just by listening to you talk about your life, it makes them feel good, like automatically, so to them it's like, all I did was take it a step further. Why does it matter? And they'll victimize themselves in that situation. Your red flag goes up and you're questioning it, and you shouldn't question it, because if you weren't in their situation, you would probably be upset as well, right? You would probably be upset as well. And even if the narcissist is upset, they make it about themselves. They get in this very traumatic role where there's, they'll cry, they'll do all type of things that you never saw them do. And during this stage, they're expecting others to feel bad for them. And a lot of times they're chasing after someone who doesn't really care about their situation, or, they're dealing with a narcissist themselves. And I think that a lot of us don't want to believe that. We don't want to believe that narcissists deal with other narcissists, because they treat us like that. So we're expecting for someone that, we're expecting for someone not to treat us the way someone treats them. That's just something you're not expecting from the narcissist, because they can be so evil, so diabolical, and, very sinister. So you're like, there's no possible way that this person is, showing to someone else that they care about them when they're treating me this way and they're seeing me in pain, but they don't care about anyone else's pain. And I think that's what, people need to understand. They only care about how they feel at the moment, who they're attracted to, who they're not attracted to. This is why when, that person, that narcissist that they're with, when that person's not dealing with them, all of a sudden they're love bombing you. All of a sudden they're there for you. All of a sudden they're being the perfect person because they're in pain, and you can feel their pain. You can feel like the only reason they're being nice to you is because they're going through something. And that type of feeling that you feel, it's almost like you feel like they're remorseful, and you can feel the remorse, but it's not really remorseful for what they did to you. They're just like, it's almost like they're just happy to be clinging on to you at this point. And you can feel that that's all that it is. So most narcissists use trauma, to fool you into believing that, there's another side to them. But in actuality, they're just using those situations to make themselves look good. They're only using those situations to reveal to you that they have something else going on. That they basically always throughout the whole relationship had something going on. So even if it wasn't with that person, it could have been someone else. So one minute they're gaslighting you, they're making you believe that what you believe, it's not real, that you're the one that's, you have trauma for no reason, that someone did something to you, that they're not doing anything to you, that they tried being nice to you, that they've done things for you during the love bombing. So they use all of this, to manipulate you. And then later on, they know you're going to think about those things, and you're going to realize that you didn't trust your intuition, that you weren't really thinking things through, that you weren't thinking things through, that they did it to you multiple times, which means there's multiple people. They're using other people's situations to make things about them, about their trauma, about their violence, and I know that for a fact. I remember the narcissist telling me, he basically told me how he can't stand people because they can get down and dirty to their level, like know exactly how they're thinking, and they can get back on their pedestal and act like nothing happened. Meaning that these type of people that they're chasing after might be successful people. They might have good people around them. They might have a good family, a good foundation, friends. So when the narcissist does something, they're able to, bounce back into their position. They're able to go to work without having to let their work and their personal life interfere with that. So if you notice, the narcissist, they'll cry over those type of people. And meanwhile, they're breaking you down. They're making you feel like, crap when you're going to work. They're making you feel like crap when you're trying to accomplish something. They're trying to put you down. They're trying to keep you from those things. And to them, they're getting off on that as power. They're like, I'm powerful. I'm getting off on this. I'm able to break you down. And then this is why they have an arrogance about themselves, because they're looking at it like, I know that there's other people that I probably can't control the way I control you, but the fact that I'm able to control you and I've controlled others before, to them, it's like it makes them feel good about chasing that narcissistic person that they've been chasing. So to them, it's like, I know this person might keep discarding me because I keep, going back to my old ways. And that's what makes me feel empowered, that I could do this to others. I might not be able to do it to them, but they know that I have control. And when they take me back, knowing what I'm doing to others, even if I don't do it to them, they know that they're willing to accept me when I'm love bombing me. They're willing to accept me when I'm love bombing them. So you'll get the narcissist get around another narcissist. And as long as the narcissist is being nice to this person, giving them money, giving them the attention, they're allowed to be around that person. That person allows them to be there. So they feel a sense of power. That's when they discard you, because they feel like you'll always be there. They feel like that narcissist person, they won't always be there. They feel like that person is in a position where they can, help the narcissist advance in some way. They're in a position where the narcissist can't break them down. So, the narcissist goes into that relationship being a giver. And when they don't have anything else to give, that person discards them. Yeah, that person discards them. Then they come to you portraying as if, they can understand your trauma. They understand what they did to you. They come to you very apologetic. All of a sudden, they understand what they've done to you. But they knew all along. They just feel bad about themselves. And because they feel bad about themselves, they see a part of you in themselves. And that's why they come to you, so that you can heal them. They come to you to heal them. And, if that person comes back, they're willing to leave you again quick. Because to them, it's like therapy. It's like, okay, I feel good. I feel better now. I'm going to leave you feeling like this because my life can get better than yours. I know how to emotionally get back into that place. All I have to do is, they make a plan. It's like they're planning while they're with you. And they'll always reveal themselves. They'll start talking about other people, but they're not including you in the plan. So it's like, are you putting me in the same category as everyone? Because you need to be more specific. Like, I'm not a dummy, So you're looking at them, and then they get defensive, and they're like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I just need to get away from everyone. They just make up stories. They make up stories as they're planning, and when, they're planning, they'll tell you their plans and everything. And, don't let that go over your heads, because even if they're including you in the plan, because that's usually what they do, they sell you the dream. They're, they're, as soon as a narcissist is telling you their plans, they get with you in a relationship. Now they're planning so many things instead of just, I'm living my life, you're living your life. We've been doing, we meet each other, where all of a sudden they're just planning. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. Someone that you meet or you're dating or you're going out with, and they're just all of a sudden planning, and it's like, am I giving you this confidence? Like, what's going on? Narcissists are liars, and I think what we all learn from these situations is to not believe what people tell us just because they're telling us something, or just because they're telling us their problems, because half the time they're waiting for you to share something so that they can go back to feeling good about themselves and making things about themselves. And you'll see that they'll distance themselves once they start feeling better. And, this doesn't just necessarily have to be like just relationships, it could be friendships, family. They only talk to you when they're going through things and stuff like that. When things are going better, their attitude changes. It's kind of like, why are you calling me? Or, like, why are you talking to me? And you might want to share something with them, and they don't really seem that interested. And then once you realize what they're doing and you distance yourself, you'll see that they're trying to reach out to you because they know that you know. So, share your thoughts, share your experiences. Let me know, did you guys ever feel that from the narcissist, that they were faking their trauma, or they were going through something and it didn't seem like their emotions and the scenario was matching up, or it seemed very odd to you that they never showed you empathy, but they're going through something and it almost seems realistic and you're there for them. You stick it out with them through their trauma, and the next thing you know, they just disappear, or they just discard you for no reason. Did you guys pick up on it, or did you guys feel like at the moment you just couldn't figure out what was going on? You were like trying to still figure it out. Do you guys see things differently once you leave the narcissist and you see what part you played in their life? Share your thoughts, you guys. Like this video, subscribe if you are new to this channel. I'm sending you guys lots of love, lots of light, and lots of peace. And I will talk to you guys on the next podcast. Love you guys. Bye.